Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, I'm Numerologist at Peterson.
And I'm Katrina Maria, psychic medium and bioenergetic healer.
It's good to talk to you, Katrina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today, Ed?
Good. Avoided the rain for right now, at least, so it's nice to be outside and doing the show.
Yeah, it's storming here in Chicago. The internet went out. I was like, oh.
But here we are through the magic of telephone and technology, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know technology is my thing. So
yeah, that is true.
Definitely.
Definitely. So this is our debut radio show, and I think the genesis of this, after we had met each other about sometime, like maybe about 2 years ago, I just kind of had the idea that it seemed like you and I have a knack for talking about people's relationships and kind of, giving them ideas of things to try or talking them through things or, providing some kind of advice or suggestions or feedback. And it seemed just like that was a natural kind of strength that you and I had. And it just seemed to me like as a service to kind of provide that or put that out there, like, for people to call in and talk with us about their love life, their relationships, their love, their sex life, and that there would be kind of a natural strength and maybe provide a service that people find valuable. And I just kind of threw that out to you 2 years ago, and then more recently we kind of kicked that idea around, and today we're here. Yeah,
it's funny. Well, we go back, quite a while, back to the MySpace days.
That's a while ago, let me tell you.
Yeah. Nobody even uses that anymore. It's so funny. Yeah, it was funny because we met through numerology and, the love of numerology. I did call myself a numerologist till I met you.
Well, that is true.
You're like the
being
master of numerology. I love it.
For any purist out there, the number for numerology is 51, and 51 happens to be my life lesson, but it also happens to be the outer personality of you, Katrina. So you calling yourself a numerologist is truthful and valid.
Yeah, no, it is. You're just so amazing at really getting in depth with the numbers, and you figure everything out so quickly. You're like a computer. I love it. It's fascinating.
We've all got our strengths and weaknesses, and I guess that's one of my strengths. So that's cool. Yeah,
absolutely. And my strength. I'm kind of like the fly on the wall psychic. I see everything that's going on. I see what other people don't see, and it's amazing. So.
And I do know it, and I have lived it. But for those of us that are just meeting the two of us here today, why don't you take a little time to tell people about yourself, your kind of story, the abilities and things that you can do, and how people can contact you, and just go for all that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have about 20 years experience as I started out as a tarot card reader, numerologist, and I've kind of developed and morphed into this bioenergetic healer, super psychic, as you could say. Been doing this, God, my whole life, it seems like. And I'm from Chicago, and my website is www.katrinamaria.com, and I believe that's actually in the chat room for anyone that wants more information on that.
Click on that.
Yeah, definitely click on it and look at my website. Lots of really good information. I also do healings where I can pretty much just go in and fix your chakras, get everything flowing how it should be flowing, kind of see where like past life cell memory issues are, psychic residue and all that stuff, and I can go in and just, blast that out. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Well, that's you in a small thing, but I know you're pretty much like without limitations. What I do is pretty straightforward, just based on names and birthday. But you have a whole variety of abilities. So, would you want to maybe like give like 5 or 10 previous examples of like someone called me and I did this, or they called about their love life, or they called about the future, or they called about this. Like give some the idea of some the width, the breadth of the things that you can do, because there's a lot.
I do that, every day. There's so many different testimonials that, people have of working with me. I actually, as far as like clearing entities and things out of houses, my cousin actually had an issue where her dog wouldn't go in the kitchen and he wouldn't eat anything in there because there was like something scaring her. And she called me. I looked in there. I actually saw the spirit of a man in the kitchen that was kind of like, overbearing, kind of a bully, and that I went in, cleared it out energetically, and while I was on the phone with her, this all happened. As soon as I cleared everything out, the dog immediately got up and went in the kitchen and ate. And it actually had reoccurred about 6 months later. I went in, I cleared it out, and I looked a little bit further into the spirit that was, haunting her house, basically. And this kind of gets a little strange, but so I looked into it, and I said, I think it's the guy that used to live in the house before you, and there was some kind of strange issue around his death. There was some kind of mystery around his death. I'm like, ask your neighbors. He always wore like a red flannel shirt. I tell her that. She asked her neighbors. It turns out that the guy that lived in the house before them, they didn't even know this, was like died there, right in the spot where the dog food was at. And it was just really, really strange. And they found out that he, passed away in the house and that he hated dogs. And he was really like, it all connected. And that was just, a few clearings over the phone and then just tuning in to the spirit. And they haven't had a problem since then. That was a few years ago. But, I mean, that's one of, like, the more, extreme cases that I dealt with. So, yeah.
How about like a couple more of the maybe mundane? You don't have to give like specifics, but like, Betty Sue called me up about her boyfriend, and I was able to tell her this, or maybe some more.
I'm the bad boy whisperer. It's a title that I've picked up over the years. If someone's boyfriend is acting up, I can read into him, see exactly what he's up to, what kind of games he's playing. It's so hard to pinpoint one time because I've done it so many times that it's actually like my nickname now amongst my clients. So, yeah, the bad boy whisperer. So if you have a boyfriend that is acting up and you can't figure him out, call me and I can decipher his what he's up to. And the guys all hate me for this, but whatever. They're not a fan of me.
Nice. And so you do telephone readings. You also do video readings online to make it kind of more personal.
Yeah, I do Skype readings. I do phone readings. I, on occasion, may do a house party here and there, but mostly all my stuff is, over the phone and Skype. And I have international clients. I have, clients all over the world. And, yeah, so anyone can really come for a reading. Just get a Skype account.
And so people can just go check you out at KatrinaMaria.com. For anyone listening today or in the chat room, they could just dial in at 619-789-6836. Otherwise, the chat room is open if you want to zap a question in there or say hi. And again, it's 619-789-6836. You can call in. Should I launch into a little bit about myself? Or?
Yeah, I was just going to tell you. Okay. How about you now?
Okay, fair. So for me, like me today, I could have never envisioned, and I would have laughed at the idea, and like tell you to go to an institution if you think that this would be me. But here I am. So my story was essentially probably somewhere around like age 15 or 16. I was an aspiring FBI agent, and that carried on for about another 6 years. And so that was my life. Like every minute of every day that I was awake, I just ate, slept, and breathed the idea of getting into the FBI and maximizing my behavior to make me the best candidate that I could be. And then at age 22, just through an offhanded interaction, I happened to be working at a health food store, third shift, stocking groceries to pay for law school. And my coworker, just me and him at night, he asked me for my date of birth, and I didn't think anything of it, so I just told him my date of birth. And then like he looked at me, and like a second went by, and then wham, he just like let me have it, just completely verbally brought me to my knees by telling me all kinds of painfully true things about myself and things that no one would have any way of knowing about me. And him and I had worked together for just a little bit. There wasn't not like we were friends or anything like that. And so after I had that life-altering experience, I looked at him just completely stunned and amazed. I was like, "How did you do that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's really simple. It's called numerology." And I was like, "Okay." And then he's like, "Yeah, here's a book you can read on it," which was the book Numerology and the Divine Triangle by Faith Jabane and Dusty Bunker. And he's like, "Yeah, if you want to just read more about that." And so I did, and it came over a course of time. I realized that the number for numerology is 51, and that is indeed my life lesson. If you add my month plus day plus year of birth together, it adds up to 51. And so through the power of numerology, I realized, wow, I'm a numerologist. Holy cow. And
I love it, fair.
Yeah, and so it just became, rather than a hobby or a job or a recreation, it's just a way of life. In the same way that I ate, slept, and breathed the FBI, now it's numerology is what I breathe. So that's just my whole life, and it's pretty straightforward and simple. So, like, you accuse me of having psychic abilities, which I strongly deny even to this moment.
You have psychic ability. I don't even want to hear it. I know you do.
So I would contend that I work strictly off people's names and date of birth, and most straightforwardly, if there was one number that anyone would want to know, it would be their life lesson number, and the way you get that is by adding the day, month plus day plus the individual digits of your year of birth. So let's take, for example, November 30th, 1954. You take 11 because November is the 11th month of the year, plus 30 because born on the 30th of the month, that's 41, and then 1954 plus 1 plus 9 plus 5 plus 4, that's 19, so 41 and 19 is 60. So a person born on November 30th, 1954 would have a 60 life lesson. And fortunately for us, each of the numbers 1 through 78 corresponds to one of the tarot cards. And so because a picture is worth 1,000 words, I can just say which number a tarot card corresponds to, and people can get a general idea. So like in the case of November 30th, 1954, that would be a 60 life lesson, which corresponds to the Six of Swords. And in there you see a ferryman. He's got a woman and child on his boat, and he's like leaving rough waters behind him and kind of guiding the ship towards steadier waters. And in practice, that's exactly what 60 is about, is learning to leave your troubles behind you, to not some motorcycle, that's 65 actually, but to leave your troubles behind you, to make progress, to move forward with your life, that kind of thing. So that's based on the date of birth, and then also looking at the name. Like they're the most common equation or whatever that's used is just adding up all the individual letters in your name. That's your path of destiny. So your life lesson tells you what you're here to learn, and then your path of destiny tells you how you're going to learn that. So your life lesson based on your date of birth is the mountain you're going to climb, and all the letters in the name tell you the path you're going to take to climb that mountain. And so I work with names and dates of birth, and pretty straightforward.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, you definitely eat, breathe, and sleep numbers. It's funny because I'll call you and I'll be like, God, I wasn't feeling good on Tuesday, and then you're like, oh, well, because it was this number, and that's why, and it was despair and unhappiness. I'm like, what? Yep. What time did you not feel good? Oh, after 8. Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's so funny. I love it. So, yeah, we actually have someone in the chat room, Empress11, would love to know what we see on her and her relationships. When is your birthday, Empress?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. When we get her numerology information, then we can start.
And thanks for hanging out in the chat room. Listen to us, Empress. It's good to talk with you again.
Okay, so she is November 1st, 1960.
Okay. And I think you
wanted
wanted to... Yeah. Oh, you want me to?
Well, yeah. You know what? Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Trying to do the math on the mountain to climb. She wants to know about her doing the math on the mountain to climb. So.
Oh, okay, sure. So for her,
let's start with
November.
The numerology for her.
Okay, that's straightforward, and it ties into what I was talking with you about the other day, so it's worthwhile. So for her, November 1st, 1960, you take 11 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 0 is 28, and so 28 in Tarot corresponds to the Two of Wands, and 28 or the Two of Wands also happens to be Katrina, your primary challenge and the most important thing you can do, so it's relevant to you. And so when 28 comes up, the issues are personal power, willpower, strengths and weaknesses, overcoming obstacles, things like that. So like on the one end of the 28 spectrum, what was that guy's name? I used to be a 98-pound weakling. That's kind of a dated reference, but it was like, what was that, like 50 years ago? Who was that bodybuilder guy? Do you remember? That's like, he was like in the Charles Atlas. Charles Atlas, I think it was. That's on right? Charles Atlas?
I've never heard of him.
Okay, well, that's a dated reference for people that were alive in the 1950s. I guess I wasn't, but I just remember it. So, so Charles Atlas, here he was a scrawny 98-pound weakling guy, and I think he was on the beach in California, and like someone kicked sand in his face, and he realized that wasn't cool, and he looked to see if there was something he could do about that, and so he decided to get into bodybuilding, and over the course of time, like he built himself up a muscular physique, and then went on to be kind of world-renowned as a bodybuilder guy. And so that kind of takes you through one example of the struggle is like one issue for 28 is their muscles, their muscularity. And so in practice, the way, it's use it or lose it. So if you don't use your muscles, they're not going to, you're just going to be an average person. But you're able to strengthen yourself to become stronger and to build your muscles. And in practice, that would be through weightlifting or bodybuilding. And for females out there with 28, that there's nothing to be scared of. Like for example, Chris Everett, there we go. Corey Everson, Coryeverson. Corey Everson from Wisconsin. I think Racine actually. She had a 28 life lesson, and she's probably one of the most famous female bodybuilders. And, she was really, you could tell that she was actually muscular. But for your average female, like they could spend their whole lifetime lifting weights, and you're never going to tell you're never going to have like muscles. But you will increase your strength kind of thing. So it's a really valuable skill, bodybuilding or simply lifting weights, even if it's just picking up a 5 or 10 pound dumbbell and doing something with it. So, okay, so you've got muscles is one part of it. And then another part of it is willpower. And so the idea is like I will do what I will to do is what a 28 would say, or nothing is impossible. I will make the impossible possible. So it's this sheer force of willpower that they can utilize and capitalize on. And then another one for 28 is obstacles. So with 28, what will happen is all these, 28 is the hero's number, by the way. So whether it's the hero, the regular hero down the block, or the superhero in the comics, the way that heroes prove themselves is by overcoming obstacles and doing heroic things. And so in order to, bring out your hero nature, these unexpected obstacles will pop up, and it's a matter of overcoming them. So that's another part of the 28 life lesson. And then it's also possible, like sexuality can play into 28 as well, like homosexual men or lesbian women, that can be 28 as well. And that doesn't necessarily apply to one's own sexual identity. It could be, that people, like someone with 28, let's say, might have, really good lesbian friends or some really good gay friends, or they might be a gay rights activist or something like that. It doesn't have to necessarily apply to one's own sexuality, but typically when 28 is present, there is some element of gay or lesbian, being significant in a person's life kind of thing. So those are some issues for 28. Go ahead.
Empress wrote in the chat room, not this lady, I like men, thank you.
Yeah, and see, there you go. It's not, it could be if she looks in her life that, maybe there's a relative of hers that is like a gay or lesbian, or there's like someone at the workplace, or it's a cause, or, so I don't know, somehow usually, it's not always, there's accept. Go ahead.
Okay, so maybe just more run-ins with the homosexual community, basically, or,
Not necessarily run-ins, but like
and was his advocate. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty typical for what it is. Like, for like a kind of middle-of-the-road example would be Bob Paris. He was a gay bodybuilder, and so he was both a bodybuilder and gay, and that's just who he was, but then he's also an advocate for, because in the bodybuilding community, like, it's kind of just like in football or sports, like being gay is frowned upon on like publicly kind of thing. And so he was able to be himself and be an advocate. And usually in practice, that's what it is. It's like 90% of the time when that comes up, it means that like you're being an advocate or, understanding or sympathetic or something like that. And then, maybe, I don't know, like 10% of the time it speaks to a person's own sexual behavior, but anyway. So that's not a huge point to dwell on. It was just something to mention in passing.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Psychically, though, as far as what I get for Empress, I see that there is a situation coming up right now where there is kind of getting rid of outworn habits, outworn thinking, old relationships. It's almost like she's looking back, wanting to clean out her closet and maybe get rid of some people who haven't been healthy for her. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Next year, though, for 2014, I do see new relationships for her, and possibly even it's either going to be a brand new relationship or like a resurgence in a current relationship. I don't know. I can't tell from the chat room if she's single or if she has a specific question. Empress, do you have a question specifically? Okay. So she moved away and got rid of family and those who don't belong. Okay, then that makes sense. We're on the right wavelength. You're going to continue doing that, I would say, through February, March. And then I see new people, healthier people coming in April or May. And, you want a partner again. I don't know. I'm seeing somebody May or June, kind of like a hot summer romance. somebody new coming in for sure. He has dark hair, green eyes, medium height, nice guy. He's a fire sign, like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's going to be a nice kind of like melting of your heart in a way where because you said you've been single for a long time, he's going to just be a lot of fun. And I see that going on throughout the summer. So, yeah, there is someone new coming in for you, definitely.
And I can add a little bit onto that, too, with your current numerology.
Oh, okay.
So if you take November 1st, so 11 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 is 17 is her personal year from her birthday last year until her birthday this year, so like for another month, essentially. And 17, the corresponding tarot card is the Star, and so it's not about being positive, staying positive, being optimistic, doing kind of affirmations, visualizations, any of that kind of thing. And then relevant to you, if you take her 17 year plus 10 for October, it's her 27-month all month, and that corresponds to the Ace of Wands. And where it ties into you is it's also your 27 year, Katrina, so you can kind of relate to this. So when 27 comes up, or the Ace of Wands, the issue is, well, here's the saying. It's create, begin, invention, start. The birth, the seed is within your heart. And so it's about starting something up and then following through with it, or starting something up and turning it over to other people and letting them work on it. And so in practice, like 27 comes up, there's like innovation, trailblazing, pioneering, firsts of any kind, like first date, first step, first this, first that, any kind of first behavior. And so it's also a matter of like turning over a new leaf, wiping the slate clean, getting a fresh start, all of those kind of things. And so it could be summed up as kind of a new way of doing things. Go ahead.
You know, it's funny. I just intuited that she was going to get a new job around July, and then she had just written, "I'm looking for a new job too." July is when the opportunity is going to come in as far as the job that you're going to be at for a long time. There's a new, possibly even a business opportunity for you coming up, like a hobby. Yeah, no, I know you need one now, but the good one's coming in July. As far as, I'm reading the chat room while I'm talking to her. But, yeah, July is when the actual real, position is coming in. But she, there's just too much change going on right now. And after March, things are going to be much better for you as far as relationships go, and then, even like job searching and stuff like that. But definitely there is an entrepreneurial opportunity coming up in April or May, so for more money for her. Does that make sense with your numbers, April, May for her, as far as?
Yeah, well, April would be about kind of being lucky, and then May would be about taking action, taking charge of her life, being a real go-getter, maybe starting her own business, working for herself, being her own boss. So it would be a little bit different vibration depending on which of those 2 months. But, yeah, for sure, May sounds like, take action, get charged, get out there. Yeah.
Definitely. May is going to be a great month for her, too. So, yep. See, once again, the numbers and the psychic are always the same. I love when this happens. I do. Awesome. Well, thank you, Empress, for participating today. And then, Ed, you wanted to go a little bit into the October surprises.
Yeah, okay, so there's this...
what some of that was.
Sure, yeah, there's this... the common saying is the October surprise, and usually that's like in reference to the political election because in November, at the beginning of November is the election, whether it's presidential or whatever, and then so in October there's usually some surprise that comes up to try to, or so-called surprise, to kind of try to sway the results of the election kind of thing. But in practice, there is real math behind this business of the October surprise, and with numerology, I can explain it very simply. So for this year, this October, anyone whose core number, and that means their month plus their day of birth, adds up to 10, then it is a good possibility that they're going to have some shocking revelation, and if they're a public figure, it being in the news or in the headlines kind of thing this October right now. And so I'll take an example of that. Let's say Brian Cashman for the New York Yankees. Let me scroll down here, grab it. There we go. So Brian Cashman, he was 33. Oh, I guess I didn't. Well, anyway. Wait, here we go. Let me just. July 3rd. Okay, there we go. Got it. Sorry. Okay, so Brian Cashman, the owner of the New York Yankees, he was born on July 3rd. And so if you take 7 plus 3, that adds to 10, like I was mentioning. And then you take 10 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 3. It's his 16 year all year, from July 3rd of this year until his birthday, July 3rd of next year. And 16 corresponds to the Tower card. And on the Tower card, you see 2 people falling from a tower that's been hit by lightning. And 16 is always like the lightning bolt. So if you think about it, a thunderstorm comes, and you kind of get that sense that something's in the air, but you don't really see something. And then whammo, in an instant, out of nowhere, thousands of bolts just come blasting down, and it's just like, whoa, a loud, thunderous, huge, shocking experience kind of thing that can alter your life in an instant. And that's exactly what 16 is. In practice, it can be just kind of moderated as saying, like, shocking revelations, surprises, shocks, that kind of thing. But that's what 16 is, the Tower card. And if you take his 16 year plus 10 for October, it's his 26th month from October 3rd today until November 2nd or November 3rd. And so when 26 comes up, that's the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands always brings news. Whether it's good news or bad news, that's kind of to be decided. But for sure, there's going to be news there. And so when 26 comes up, there's news, communication, emails, phone calls, and then typically if someone's a celebrity, that news can be making it into the headlines, being in the news, being on television, in the newspaper, all of that kind of stuff. So when that's kind of the magic for this year. Is anyone whose month and day of birth adds up to 10, then right now in October, it's possible that they would have an October surprise and we'd be seeing them in the news kind of thing.
Okay, and offhand, can you name some of the celebrities that have that right now? I know Princess Kate did, didn't she?
Who did?
The new royal...
Yeah, Kate Middleton, right. She's the first name I have on the list. So people can go to predictionsyear2013.com, and up on the top, underneath the crystal ball, it says October 2013, shocking revelations on the news, and just click that. And after the show's done, I'll try to edit that and provide a link right on the show page so people can click on it there and see what I'm talking about. But they can go to predictionsyear2013.com and click on that. And I'll just run through a quick list since we've got time. Like this is not an exhaustive list. This is just when I went through and did a quick search for the celebrities whose month and day of birth adds up to 10. This is what I came up with. So all born on January 9th is Kate Middleton, the royal princess, Chad Johnson, the football player, Nina Dobrev, the actress, Justin Blackman, the football player. Then born on February 8th is Kimbo Slice, the MMA fighter, Catherine Newton, the actress. March 7th is, I'm not sure, maybe you know how to pronounce her last name, Weise, Rachel Weisz, is that how you say it? No?
Oh, we're off air. Went off air mid-sentence.
No, we're still,
okay.
It's recording. Yeah, we're good for another 11 minutes. We just lost any callers or the chat room possibly, so we're good.
Oh, okay, yeah. I first had just written went off air mid-sentence, thanks guys, and then...
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're good.
Oh.
We're good. So people come listen to us on recording, but we can still talk. So are you familiar with that actress? Her last name is W-E-I-S-Z. Is it Weisz or?
Yeah. Mhm.
Weisz. Okay, so Rachel Weisz. She was born on March 7th, and Larry Asante. I think he's a football player. He was born March 7th. Born on April 6th is the actor Zach Braff, and the politician Rafael Correa. Born on May 5th, and I'd have to imagine we're going to be seeing this pretty soon, is Chris Brown, the musician and bad boy. Jeremy Wade, the actor. Brooke Hogan, Hulk Hogan's daughter. Adele, the singer. Henry Cavill, the actor who played Superman. Born on June 4th is Brad Pitt's wife, Angelina Jolie. Also on June 4th is the model that Leonardo DiCaprio dated at Bar Raffaele. Or is that how you say your last name?
Yeah, Raffaele. Mhm.
Raffaele, okay. And then actor Noah Weil. Born on July 3rd is WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. New York Yankees owner Brian Cashman. And actress Olivia Munn, and race car driver Sebastian Vettel. Born on August 2nd is actor Sam Worthington, basketball player Skylar Diggins, football player Golden Tate, and wrapping it up with September 1st is, who's Zendaya? She's an actress, right? Singer? Actress? Both? Zendaya? Younger
what was her
girl?
name again?
Like Zendaya, Zendaya. She's like a 18, 20-year-old girl. I think she's an actress.
Yeah, it's got to be, because I don't know who she is. So.
Okay. And
it's so hot, I don't know.
And then I think he's either actor or radio guy, Phil Hendry. And then two other things as far as October surprise is the Denver Broncos and Brett Favre, so I'd watch for those two. But anyway, there's a non-exhaustive list of all the people who have the potential of having an October surprise. Do any of those in the last 7 minutes or so that we have here stand out for you, or anything pop up?
You know what? Adele did, actually.
Okay.
When you had mentioned Adele, I saw a pregnancy around her.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe, I don't really follow her much, but I do see a new pregnancy for her in the next few months.
To me, that amazes me because the number for pregnancy is 26, and so this is her 16-year shocking revelations and 26-month pregnancy. So I know she was pregnant and had a child. Yeah, she was pregnant and had a child, I think, like a year or two ago. But news of her being pregnant now would be shocking to me and probably to her too. So that's a total possibility.
You know what? When it comes, it comes. I'm the human ultrasound. So I saw when you said Adele, I go pregnant.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
And I'm predicting that it's going to be a boy. So there you go. It's in the ethers. You know, I always like to hear about the royals because they're so interesting and strange to me. So do you see anything for, like, Kate Middleton coming up as far as, like, the numbers go?
Yeah, so for Kate Middleton, again, it's her 16-year shocking revelation, 26-month being in the news, being popular, photos, television cameras, making headlines, any of that kind of stuff, being popular. I know that her son, George Louis Alexander, I think. Is that the order of the name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. George Louis Alexander. But they're they were talking about christening him. I'm not sure if that's happened or is about to happen, but I know that's in the news. So at the very least, that would be what's in the news for her. I know it was, I believe, the first time since she gave birth that they recently came out into the news and were public again. So that also fits in, but I don't have any specific predictions or anything that I see for her. Is there anything that pops up to you, or?
You know, as far as she goes, I just see everything being really quiet around her, almost mysterious in a way. she's laying very, very low lately, and I'm proud because she's a new mom and she's, you know, at home with, you know, her new baby and stuff like that. But it's funny because when I look at her, I think the marriage is happy. I don't see any issues or scandal around the marriage. But my favorite royal is Harry. The little bundle of excitement. I have like a wild crush on Harry. I can't help it. It's so wild. No, I actually see him getting in trouble probably in November, December again, and making like some little scandalous headlines having to do with him being out drinking too much again. He's always fun. He's always a bundle of fun, that Harry.
What I can
yeah,
find out
definitely.
Go ahead. You definitely.
Yeah, and in November, beginning December, we're going to have some stories with Harry in the news. It'll, you know, more of his fun.
What sticks out to me is the synastry. So, like, she was born on January 9th, 1982, so 1 + 9 + 1 + 9 + 8 + 2. She's got a 30 life lesson, which is about, like, the queen in her castle, you know, like living a life of luxury, having a lot to be thankful for, just kind of being blessed overall. And so for Prince Harry, he was born on September 15th, 1984. So if you take September 15th, 9 + 15 + 2 + 0 + 1 + 3 is his 30 year from his birthday this year until his birthday next year. So a person's life lesson number stands for themselves. So Kate Middleton, she has a 30 life lesson, and right now this is Prince Harry's year. So there's kind of a synastry between, you know, his what's going on with her and what's going on with him, like they would kind of affect one another. And then as far as like him getting into trouble, if you take his 30 year plus 10, it would be his 40 months from October 15th until November 14th, and that would be like him being like spoiled rotten, like him just being a brat or something like that, like kind of having fun, I guess, kind of thing. So that could happen.
Definitely. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Well, that's funny how you said the queen in her castle about Kate, because I was looking, and that's exactly what it looked like. It was like she was like the queen of her castle, and she's very happy in her castle. She's happy at home. I think she likes doing the public stuff, but it's just not her favorite thing. And right now, for some reason, she's really protective over the baby. Well, probably because of maternal instincts, of course. But she's not going to be out there like Diana was. You know, because Diana was out there, you know, very frequently. I don't see Kate doing that. I think she's going to be a little bit more mysterious, you know. That's what I'm getting.
Well, we're down to our final minute or two, so how about why don't you throw out your website one more time, and we'll look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, definitely. My website is www.katrinamaria.com, and I work by appointment only, and you can get more information about me and my services there.
There you go, and you can catch me at numerologybasics.com, and how about I'll take us out with some music, and we'll do it again, Katrina. It was good talking with you.
Fantastic. Great talking to you, too.
All right.
Bye.
University is Arizona's premier private Christian university, committed to providing next-generation education. GCU offers over 200 academic programs, many in high-demand fields, across 9 colleges. We keep our rigorous curriculum relevant by partnering with industry leaders and advisory boards. Earn your degree online, in the evening, or on our vibrant Phoenix campus. Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu.
O'Reilly. There's a new O'Reilly Auto Parts store in Merritt Island on North Courtney Parkway. Stop by the grand opening celebration now through February 26th and receive 50% off on select items. You'll find everything from replacement parts to tools and accessories at everyday low prices. Visit the new O'Reilly Auto Parts store in Merritt Island. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. O'Reilly Auto Parts.